Hello, everyone. This is Stephanie with the Illinois JCs, and today we have Eric Hyatt, the Administrative VP, with us to give a training on creating a website with Wix. Thank you, Eric, for joining us.
Thanks, Stephanie. Welcome to our training. So just to give you an idea what to expect, I'm just going to talk a little about the importance of setting up a website and keeping it updated. Then I'll show you the process of actually setting one up. And then I'll show you a little behind the scenes of how our state site works and how things can be easily edited and updated using it. So this is a really high level overview to give you some background. I'm not like a programmer or any computer designer experience at all. This all started back before the beginning of the year when President Don asked me to modernize and update our state site. I started playing around with Wix for a while, actually just in December of 2020. And just with a week or two of playing around with it, we were able to actually go live on our state site on January 1. So really, I can do it, you all can do it because it's just so easy to do. But if you don't want to use Wix, that's fine too. Wix was just really easy for me because there wasn't really any coding I had to do. It was all drag and drop. But maybe you have someone in your chapter that has that experience, and in which case either is WordPress, there's other services too to check out as well. One thing I wanted to start off with, and I'll share my screen here. Let's see. In a website or open up a browser, and what I want you to do is just type in your chapter on Google. So this, I'm going to type in Champaign-Urbana JCs and see what comes up. The first thing that comes up is our Facebook page. And I'm purposely in Firefox, the private mode, so it doesn't have any of my cookies or login. Because what I want to see is right now, the first link is on Facebook, and it's actually the mobile version of the website. So when I open it up, this is what comes up. It's the mobile version, so you can't really see anything. It's hard to read, it's hard to understand. You have some of the events, but it's on the mobile view, so you really can't. This would be someone's first impression of the chapter. And actually, let's see if we have further down is a draft of a website that we started but never finished. Right here, so that they were getting outdated information. Fortunately, Champaign-Urbana JCs, they actually created a website recently, and Google hasn't picked up on it yet, but this looks much better when you see this than seeing the mobile version on Facebook. You see the upcoming chapter events, you can quickly see what the organization is about. And not only you have to think this is someone's first impression. It could be a prospective member, it could be a potential donor, it could be a community member, it could be a city official, or maybe the media. You have to look at all the people that might not be on Facebook, and the login would automatically pull up. And so we really want to make sure that we're marketing the chapters the best that we can. So I give this example to start off just to highlight the importance of having an updated chapter website. Start with that. And, this is geared towards a chapter, but really creating a website, you can do it for, maybe you're creating a small business. Maybe you are want to market yourself. A lot of people now are putting their resume and whatnot right on a website. So there's more usage to this other than, this is the primary purpose of this training is for a chapter, but this can be also applied for you personally as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to minimize this window here. I'll just close it. And I'm going to go to Wix site. I'm already logged in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new site on here just to show you if you started out what it would look like. So let me do that real quick. So if you went to Wix for the first time and wanted to start a website, the nice thing about Wix is it really helps you try to figure out what's best for you and what you're trying to create. So for example, maybe you're a restaurant. So you want to create like a pizza restaurant. So let's just see what happens when we do that. On this screen, it's going to say, do you want Wix ADI to create a website for you or create your website with the editor? I did a little research and it was recommended to always create your own website with the editor because you can do a lot more customization. So let me just hit edit template. So now you see a bunch of pizza restaurants websites that you can actually, use templates that you can modify. And the funny thing about it is a lot of people don't even, so let's say you're creating a website for an organization. Some people actually use, a restaurant template and modify it to make it work for their organizations. They can be, the templates are there to help guide you create a website. So if you like a different website that maybe isn't particular to what you're actually creating, you can still modify it. For the Illinois JC website, I actually used a template from an environmental group. Let's see if I can find it quickly on here, right here. So when you go, you can browse through all the sites, the templates that are in place. You can hit view here. I can view the full demo. This is what the template that I worked off of from when we created our IllinoisJCs.com. So it has some, you might see some similarities right now, but as this pop-up just says that came up right now, you use this template as a starting point. You can change anything you want to make this your website. So that's a really important thing to remember. So, this is the one that I used that I picked because I liked these boxes that were down here in the middle, and I liked doing things with this main action screen here. But I actually chose not to do a video. I did pictures from different state events. So that shows about the customization that you can do. Let's just go back here to the screen so you can see some other things that you can do. So I know for our HOA, we actually, in my former neighborhood, we used the website designer that the HOA hired actually used a restaurant, like I said, a restaurant template. So you can really have a lot of different options. You can see all templates here. You can see most popular ones. So really just, some of the times you just want to just browse through this and you can actually start editing this right now. So it's not going to go live until you actually hit publish. So let's see if I want to do, maybe I'm running, let's figure something out just to see something different here. Pets and animals, let's do that. Let's do the pet supply store. Let's hit view first and hit view demo. I'm looking through it and I'm like, you know what, I like this site. I want to make this is what I want to use to edit. Maybe it's not a chapter website. Maybe I'm, creating some sort of marketplace. So all I would do then is I would just hit edit the site. And then Wix is going to do some magic here. And it's going to take a little bit just to get things to a form where you can actually edit. And there you go. This is where the magic happens now, is the behind the scenes of creating and editing the site. As you can see, let's pull this off here. You'll have, you can, let's go here. This actually looks different from what I'm used to. So bear with me here. So right now you can see you have a main banner here. So even all these things right here you can customize. So let's say you like right here, you want to change this to this picture of the dog, you want to change this to chapters. Let's say you don't like this image of cats. You can actually click on the image or just delete that whole banner. You can actually, if you right click on it, you can actually change the background. So it's kind of like a publisher per se. So you don't have to mess with codes, everything. So there, I changed it to that. I can change it to, let's see, I'm gonna search something else. Let's just say I want to say image. I can search from Wix, has a listing of site pictures that you can use. Some of them are, most of them are free. I can just say I want a picture of, right now they know we're on an animal site, so there's animals, but let's say I just want to do someone at a computer. So computer worker. Here's someone working at a computer. I can change the image there. So just showing some of the things you can do. I'm going to go back to actually our website because I'm a little bit more familiar with it and to kind of go through it. So this is the main editor screen, like I said, and in the sidebar here, you can, this is like your main action. So you can see in the menu and pages here, this is your site navigation. So here's all the different sites on our Illinois JC page. And this is how you create new pages. And this is how you edit the pages. So let's go to our state team page. Here you see all the pictures of our state team members. Wix is set up where it's drag and drop. So I can move President Dawn, anywhere on this page. I can move, I can change text. So, I can change my, I can change my last name. I can, so everything is done, you don't need a programming, experience to make changes to a website on this. And right now, everything is, you're just working on it. It's until I hit save, it's not going to make any changes to the actual published until I hit publish. Let's say I want to create a new website or a new site on the page. I just go to add page. And I just want to do a blank page. And then I go to the menus and pages here, or actually, no, I go to my add here. And here's where I can add text. So let's just say I want to use the standard text. I am creating a new website or a new page for the Illinois JCs. So you have that text there. Maybe you want like a header. So I'll add my heading here. So I drag and drop. Welcome to our new page. And I can actually use this. It's kind of like Canva, if you ever use Canva, where you can actually, line things up. I'm actually kind of bad at this, but you can line things up. And let's say then I want to change, let's add an image. So let's go to images. I uploaded already some images. You can upload your own images here. So the site has some files that you can, put stuff in. So if I want to upload new things, I can do that quickly by hitting upload media. So if you have your own pictures from events, here's from when we did our summer social, here's one of the locations we were at. So I uploaded that to the page. So I can just, I'm going to reuse that there. And then this is the bottom bar here. This is on all the pages. It's the footer here. And I can actually drag this down to adjust the page height. See, I didn't have to know what this really was, or I didn't have to go into the file or developer mode to actually drag it down. All I do is quickly edit it down. So it's kind of, like I said, like a Microsoft publisher. So let's just put this, let's move this to the top and move the text down here. Let's just put this right there. This doesn't look that good, but just to give you an example here. And right now, this new page that we're in, if we go to our menu and pages, is under our About tab. So if you went to our top header, it would be in About. Let's call this new page something else. Let's just call it Wix Training Demo. So now this will be saved in the About section. So I'm just right now, no one's going to be visiting our website in the next couple of minutes. So I'm actually going to hit save to this. and it's saved and it says, do you want to publish? So I'm going to publish. Just like that, I created a new page on our website. So really trying to demonstrate that you don't need a strong computer background to do something like this. So I'm going to go, if I can move this down. I'm going to go to illinoisjcs.com just to see the changes reflected. Under the About, here it is, Wix training demo. Obviously this doesn't look good, but there it is. So just showing you how easy it is to do. And right now, this is what we did. I didn't even check the mobile version. So let me go back to our page here. This is what it looks like when you're looking at it on a desktop. But as we know, and as we know from our own experiences, more and more people are using their tablet or their phone to visit websites. So we want to make sure that it's accessible to anyone that wants to view the site, no matter what they're using to access it. So Wix has a handy thing where you can switch to mobile version, where it's the same things that you put into your desktop version, but it's optimized the resolution for a mobile phone. So I click mobile version, and actually it doesn't look too bad. But sometimes you have to move, you can actually, let's say maybe I want the image last on the mobile version and I want to move the text up. So you can actually change the mobile version to whatever looks better for the page that you're creating. So some of the sites on the Illinois JC page, I did have to make some changes to the mobile version. One thing when I went through some of the, the experts that are familiar with Wix, they've always said that you always want to make sure that you view your website on as many different screens as possible. Your laptop at home is using a different resolution as potentially maybe a desktop for someone, like a Mac laptop versus a Windows desktop at a workplace. The screen resolution is different. And one, I would say, disadvantage of Wix is it doesn't really give you that many options since it's so easy to move things. They didn't want to complicate it with a lot of coding to make the resolution apply for many different resolutions. So what I'm trying to say is you want to make sure that you may have to edit things, just have different people look at the site. I did that when we created the Illinois JC site. And one of the things I realized is, you see these black lines that are dashed right through the center or going down right here. One thing I learned is you can't put things outside there. Some people it might pick up, but other resolutions it will not. So using Wix, you if it's outside of here, it may give some issues with people that using different resolution. So you want to stay within the center here. I had difficulties with our logo. That's the issue that we discovered when we first launched the site, was the logo was all over the place. So instead I had to make the logo a little bit smaller at the top bar here and fit it within the lines. I'm going to just do that. I'm going to put this picture a little bit off here, and I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to publish. And let's just see if I'm going to be able to see it, I think. So I was able to see it because with this Mac that I'm using, the resolution is set in a way where it picks up. But someone that's using a different resolution, this image would not pick up. So that I know that's one of the pros of using something like WordPress is you're able to enter more things in to make things a little bit more customized. Another thing with Wix that I want to go over is, let's go back to our editing screen here. So, let's say I don't want anyone to access this website, the training site that we did. So on the site menu at the left-hand side here, I go to site menu, I see the Wix training demo. If I hit these three little dots, I get some more options. I get settings. So let me just go to settings here first. I can actually, first, before I hide this page, I want to edit the URL. So if I go to SEO basics, which stands for search engine optimization, which I'll talk on briefly in just a minute. This is where I change the URL of the website. So if I hit, let's say I just want this as Wix training 21. So I'm going to put that there. And then you can actually, sometimes on Facebook, you have, when you share a link, there's that little thing at the bottom that shows what the website's about. I can actually, edit that. Right now it's set to the Wix training demo. Well, let me just say it is Wix demonstration. Let's just, if we want to change, just to give an example, to change that. Maybe we want that as our main message that we want to convey on social media or wherever we're sharing it. So now it's actually going to change the heading to that. Let's change this to Illinois JCs. So now our URL to access this is illinoisjcs.com/Wix training 21. I told you just a second ago that I was touching SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. So one thing is you want Google to find your website. And you can do that in a variety of ways, just like how Champaign-Urbana just created a nice new website using WordPress. Actually, they use Wix. You want to make sure that that new website is be able to pick up on. And if you don't do the proper search engine optimization, it might be hard to pick up on the site. So if you go to the page meta description, you can say what makes this page unique. This is what Google does with their algorithms and whatnot, more fancy than I don't know what they do, but they do something that's over my head to find your page. But you want to describe what it is. So you want to say something like, maybe you want to say Illinois JC's training on how to use Wix to build a chapter website. So this is basically, this doesn't appear on the website, on the page when a normal person looks, but this will help search engines find that this is the Illinois JCs, and this is a chapter training on building a chapter website. And you might even say, on your main page, and this is something I haven't done really on some of our pages, but on our home page, you might want to say Illinois JCs, or your chapter, the CU JCs, is a leadership development organization for those 18 to 40, you want to put that on there so that way the search engine can pick up on it. So I'm just going to leave this right now, and it'll let the search engine index this page. So it might not happen immediately, but whenever Google scans and finds this, this will be known to Google. So now if I go to illinoisjcs.com/ I don't even remember what I put down for it, but was it Wix training 21? Let's try that link. Oh, that wasn't it. What was it? Settings. It's Wix training. Oh, that's what it is. I didn't publish this yet. So you can see the mistake that I made. Hit publish now. Now, if I go to it, just like that, that's the website. So maybe you don't want this site accessible to everyone. Maybe you want to hide it and just have it available to people that know the link. All you do then is hit hide. What that will do is it will no longer show up. Right now, see how this is showing up on the menu bar? Once I hit publish now, it will no longer show up on the menu bar. So this might be a good way, like, for example, right now for the state, we're selling On2 kits for the members that are attending the celebration of the century next month. And we just created a dedicated link, but it's not advertised on the website. So you need to know the link to do it. So that might be a tool that your chapter can use if you're need it to, just be on the site, but you don't want to necessarily advertise it. Another thing you can do to further protect or limit who can access the site is we go back to edit on here in the settings. You can actually make it where only you need a certain password to view this site. So I can say, you need to say, let's say it's just JC's, is this pages, just this page, not the entire IllinoisJCs.com, but just the Wix Training 21. You need to know the word JC's as a site password. So I'm going to save this. Then I'm going to publish. And now when I go to the site, it's going to say, please enter the password below. So I'm just going to type in JC's. And now I don't want to save that on my 1Password, but there it came up. So this might be a good tool for you. As we talked about earlier, not everyone's on Facebook, and maybe you still want to share resources for chapter members, but maybe you don't want to make that necessarily public. This would be a good way to maybe share some documents or internal meeting minutes that maybe you want to make sure that everyone that is a member has access to. So this would be a great way to do that. I'm not a cybersecurity expert, so I don't know how secure that actually is. I don't know if you don't want to put, social security numbers or anything on it, but for, things that aren't as sensitive, like chapter minutes and stuff like that, or member only areas, you can use that. And I'm not going to go into this. We can also create a member only area as well. So you can have people sign in and have access to this site of your web page. So you can give everyone a login as well. So that's another option, but I'm not going to go into that now. I'm going to go into some other things, but does anyone have any questions? I know I wanted to keep this at like 45 minutes or less, so I'll go into some other things as well real quick, but just wanted to see if you have any questions. I'll just move on. But if there are any questions, please reach out to me. I'm more willing to help. It's hard to give a big overview on this. So I'm, if you're starting to create a site and want to have some input on it, or just some, how do you do this? Please set up a time, and I'm more than willing to help your chapter, or if you're doing it for maybe a new business. I'm not an expert, but I can show you what I did for this, and maybe we can work through it together. So I'm going to talk real quick about some features that Wix have. So I talked about some of the things, we just did some basic text and images, but there's a lot of other things that you can do with Wix. So for example, if you want to create a blog, you can do that. So it's so easy to do. If you want to create something with Google Maps and have like, a location highlighted on your site, you can do that. You can just, what I've been doing is, as I've been learning Wix throughout the year, if I want to do something, like right now we're trying to figure out how we're going to be selling tickets for our GA. I can actually just search on here, events. And there's different things that I can use just on Wix to, events calendar, for example. I can do a Wix events. Let's see if I want to do tickets. Sell tickets and manage registrations. So I can actually open that on here, and it shows you what it is. And, you can actually add that on there. The reviews are so on that. So you can kind of see the different service and what it entails. So one thing I would recommend definitely doing is, if your chapter has an Instagram account or a Facebook, you can actually connect it right on here and get the feed right on here. So if I search Instagram, and there's a way to quickly get to it too, but I don't want to do that right now. I can get Instagram, and I can put my Instagram feed right on this page. I just have to add that app to the page. And it's really easy to do. I've done, let's see, I think we have an actual social page on our website. Let's see. I did social channels. So I have our Facebook page where it automatically updates. And it's cool because you don't necessarily have to have a Facebook page for someone to view your Facebook page on here. So before, when I showed you the chapter page, you needed to log in right to Facebook, but here it just picks up the feed. I don't have Instagram yet, but what I did is I did buttons to our different social channels. To create a button, I hit add. Let's go to, I can either do a box if I don't want like the Instagram logo or something. I can just do, let's say I want to put a box in here. Maybe I want people to sign up for attending this Poor Brothers event that we had. So I can actually change the color, right click on it. I want this to maybe go to a different page. So I can actually set this. Actually, that's the wrong widget, but let me go to that real quick. It's a button that I was supposed to use, sorry. So the button here, let me delete what I just did. That's a good lesson. You can quickly delete things on here. And I want this to say, let's say sign up. And where does this link go to? Excuse me. You can say, maybe you have an event outside Eventbrite that you're using. You can type in that link there. Or maybe you want it just to go to a page that you already have set up in Wix. You can just quickly say, I want this to go to, when we had the lots of leadership, one of our trainings, we actually, that's one of the things I did. So right there, it goes to the lot register. So I'm gonna publish this just to see where it goes. And sorry if I'm moving fast on here. So this was Wix Training 21, password JCs, sign up. So this was actually, this event has ended. So just showing you, you can link things and quickly have signups and whatnot. And one thing you really need to realize is, with these buttons, whatever your purpose of the page is, you want to draw people to it and allow people to quickly, you don't want to hide things behind a million different pages, quickly sign up. Click the button and it goes right to the purpose of this site here is to sign up for the event. So keeping that in mind there. Some other tips when you're creating on here. One thing I learned is you don't want to have multiple different text styles or fonts, because actually Google, if you have like multiple fonts, it actually makes it less likely that it's going to create optimization to that site for the search engine results. So one of the experts have said to really keep it clean and at most use 2 or 3 different fonts, but really, if possible, use 1 different fonts. No purpose of site, like I said, funnel people to contact you. Figure out, is the purpose of the site to attract prospective members? Is it to advertise to prospective business sponsors? Really can do both, but having that in mind when you create the different tabs and what you're trying to do. So with the Illinois JC page, we're trying to create resources for people or for chapter members and members, show about our upcoming events, showcasing our local chapters. You can see those are all headers around there. Speaking of the headers, let's say I have this Wix training site right now. It's in about, let's say we've created this more as an event now with that Poor Brothers tap room thing. So let me change the name to Poor Brothers event. And let's move it to events. And then I will publish. Actually, let's go back here, and I don't want it. Remember we had that website link on it. Let's say we want to change the link now. So we go to SEO basics in the settings, and we want to say Poor Brothers 21 event. I'm not going to change all this right now. It would take too long, but just so it showed an example. And then I don't want this as a password only thing. So it's open to everyone. Save, publish. So now if I refresh this, maybe I didn't do it right. Oh, it's still hidden. So remember we hid it. So if I go here and I want to show. So I'm going to save that and publish. So like I said, if you make mistakes along the way, it's easy to find them and correct them versus seeing all a bunch of code and trying to figure out how to manage that. So now if I go back to events, here we are, Poor Brothers event. So you can quickly move it from one menu bar to another if you figure out you want to change your navigation or anything like that. You can play with different things on here with, they call them, let me see what they call them here. I have it written down. Light boxes. Light boxes are pop-ups. So if you want to create a pop-up, let me search light box. So you can have, when we go to a page, let's say if we go to this page here, maybe I want to say, join the JCs. And you can, you see the font comes up, so you can kind of customize it. I said only use 2 or 3 fonts, but we're going to ignore that advice right now. I'm just going to create this here. Let's change this text to connect with us. And then maybe we'll have this go to our, if you had a Google form to like have someone sign up. But right now, I'm just going to have this connect to, if I right click on it, I can change where the link goes. I can say I want it to go to, we do have on our website like a membership page that has how to join, connect to a chapter here. So I'm going to have that there. And then instead of saying shop, I want to say join now. I don't like this color blue, so I'm going to change the design of this, and maybe we want some avocados on that thing for some reason. Now right now let me save and publish. And please have me remember to delete this, otherwise we're someone's gonna, let's see, there it is. It dropped. See, it popped up. Let me go back to the site. So, and maybe it's not going. Oh, there it goes. Join the JCs and a bunch of avocados. So hit join now. And here we go to the connect the chapter page, and then we have the membership application and a listing of chapters. So it's all about how you navigate, right? And so one of the things we did for our state page is we made sure that we had a link to every single chapter, either website or Facebook page. That way people could easily see, okay, I want to join. Here's how I do it. I want to join Springfield. So I go to the Springfield JCs page and I hit sign up. And just like that, I can join the Springfield JCs. So it's all about quickly getting to what you want, because someone might not wait around for 15 minutes to figure out how to join. And remember, if I go to the events and Poor Brothers event, and there's the avocados are just going to pop up again. So just those are called, or maybe it's not going to pop up. But yeah, so those are called light boxes. Then I'm going to quickly touch now on, and I said 45 minutes, so I'm going to just do this real quick and then wrap things up. Let's say, great, you sign up for the Wix page here, and you want to sign up for it, right? So this is your Wix dashboard. So this is what you use to kind of different tools. You can see different analytical data. You can see people that have connected with you. I haven't touched on this. We can create email lists where at the bottom where it says, subscribe to our newsletter. It's all easy to do. And I can walk you through that. If you have a question, just reach out to me how to do that. But there's a lot of different tools that you can use on here to really optimize your site. Illinois JCs, we had our own domain already. So what we did is Wix. I'm not going to do this because I don't want to mess it up. But I can, connect you to the right person if you need to know how to do this, but how to connect your actual domain that you have and then the actual Wix site. That's a little bit over my head, but it's easy to do nonetheless. If you didn't want to, let's say you're creating, when I ran this year for admin BP, I created a campaign site. I didn't want to spend money on the Wix premium package. And instead, I just wanted to, I had a domain name, which cost about $12 a year, but I still wanted to use Wix for free. And I was able to do it. And I'll tell you a little way to do that. So what I used is Google Domains. On Google Domains, you can, so right now I search, so I have ericwhyatt.com. So it's going to show up that the .com isn't available, but I can get ericwhyatt.net for $12 a year. You can sign up on Google Domains, and then you can quickly, this is my Eric W. Hyatt NN. I'm going to show you, if you go to edit forwarding, when you create your free Wix site, you can actually put in your, what that directs to. So ericwhyatt.com, when I ran for admin VP, goes right to the free version. It redirects to ericwhyatt.wixsite.com. The free version of Wix will have this banner here. But it can do a lot of the same things. It might not be able to do all the things that our Illinois JC page can do, but if your chapter is trying to save some money and not necessarily have, if you don't have a website already, you can probably buy a domain for $12 a year if you get creative with the naming of it, and you can redirect it to the free Wix site. I can walk you through how to do that if you need to, but just wanted to throw that out there as a way to get things set up. And again, I'm not going to show you if I want to publish. I'm not going to publish anything on a new site just so I don't want to mess it up. But it's really easy to do it Wix as this is shown. I mean, if I want to edit this site, actually, I can just show you real quick. So it's not. I'm not going to. I can always delete it. Let's give this a second, and then I'll wrap things up if you have any questions. Let's say I want to publish this. Let's say publish. Let's see. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to mess things up. But if you hit publish, then it's going to walk you through the process of how to create that site on there. And then, like, if I created another website, I can actually see that on my dashboard, which is right here. And I just have this one. Let's see, go to all sites. So you can see that we have a premium account. This is probably the one I just created here is my site. I don't know what it is. I don't want to click on it. But you can click, so you can create multiple sites on here. And Wix does have some pricing packages if you want the premium. One advice I have, if you are wanting the premium features on Wix, is after you create the site, wait a few days because you can get 50% off Wix emails, promo codes after you create your free site. And then, like for the Illinois JCs, we're able to lock that in for 3 years. So just don't, just keep that in mind. If you want it where it doesn't, one of the features of why you want it to be It's like if ericwhyatt.com, why you want it to pay for the free version. Because if I didn't, this ericwhyatt.wix site is not as professional, I guess. So if illinoisjcs.com, see how it just stays at illinoisjcs.com. That's because we have the premium version of Wix and you're able to connect things and make it all work with the transfers of the domain name. Again, that's over my head, but I'll stop now and see if you have any questions. So my contact information, if you have any questions, let me just share it on here. Let me open up.
So how much was the Wix for the premium site?
So I think about $100 a year. And that was, we got a little up the middle grade package just because we didn't know with the number of videos that we wanted and stuff like that with it. But for our version, it was $100 a year for the premium package. And I can actually, let's see the differences between them. Again, this is the full price, or see, I'm logged in, so it's not. Let me see if I can open up Firefox here, Wix pricing plans. So you can see I think we're on the Pro, and so we got 50% off that when that promo code comes out. And I guess we get more storage space, or you get the custom domain that you can connect the link to your custom domain, you remove the Wix ads. The storage space, since if you have a lot of pictures, if you have a lot of documents on it, that makes a difference. But yeah, we got the Pro version on the personal, since we weren't accepting online payments, or we don't plan to accept online payments. You can actually still accept online payments on your site, just not through Wix's payment plan. So, and actually, if you look at so our illinoisjcs.com/21onto, which is what we did for purchase of the Celebration of the Century Onto package. We connected our PayPal to it, which is really easy to do. I can show you on here how you do that, because that's actually a good thing to know how to do. If I go to our menu and pages, site menu. Where did I put the 21 onto at? Let's see. This is one of the pages that I hid.
Is it under events?
Let's see.
Oh, there it is. Celebration of the Century onto.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Actually, I didn't hide it, but I guess I'll hide it in. There we go. So if I click on this page here, oh no, it's one thing you have to know on Wix is you can't have multiple windows open on the same site. So I just had that error here. So it's telling me I have my site, I have this tab open and that tab open, and I only want one tab open since it's auto updates. Well, I have that feature set up where it's auto updates. So I'm just going to go here now. It's going to work. Here we go. So I was able to go onto our PayPal site, and there's HTML that I was able to copy right in. So if I go to add, and I just type in HTML, this is the only coding you need to know. And PayPal, like when you say add a widget on PayPal, PayPal gives you this code that I have no idea what it means. All you have to do is copy that in, embed a widget. You enter code here, you copy that in from PayPal. So if you look at this, edit code, there's all this stuff from PayPal that showed what it is, and that allowed us to connect it right to PayPal. You can do the same thing with Square and whatnot. So for me to learn that, I just had to Google it to figure out how to do it. So you're able to embed different things from different sources onto your site. And it's not using the Wix like payment processing. You can use your own payment processing.
Can you create a form
Yes,
on the Wix?
all you would do is go to add. You can find it through the drop down, or I'm too impatient to find it through the drop down, so I'll just type in forms. And you can do contact forms. There's a form builder and there's a Wix forms. So if you wanted to do like a, let me get off this page here and show you. So I don't want to make changes to that. We'll go back to our demo page that we were working on in the Poor Brothers event. So I can easily delete that. So I guess it's under contact and forms. So you can see where it's under contact and forms. And then I have different options. I have job application, which could probably translate to, you can do a membership application, a feedback application, or a feedback form. You can probably make this whole page one of the forms too. So if you're doing like a training evaluation or something like that, you can set it to be a whole page. And I'll show you how to do it. Let's just do, for right now, let's do a contact form. And I can just say, let's use this one here. And again, Wix being so easy as it is, all you have to do is edit it. So let's just say, let's just turn it into a membership. So membership form. I want first name, last name, email, phone number, address. Let's say I want to edit this. I want to go to form settings. I can add a new field. So let's say I want birthday, since we want to make sure they're of age. Maybe we want like a anti-spam thing. You know, sometimes when you get the things I hate where you have to click on when it says bridge, where the bridges are, and you have to click on all the images of the bridges. You can do something similar with that on there. Now it does look like this one the form requires an upgraded version if you have more than 3 additional customized things. So it says I have 3 fields left. So keeping that in mind. But one thing you can really easily do is instead of, let's say I don't want to use this Wix form on here. I'm just going to delete this here. I'm just going to delete that whole form. I want to embed a Google form, let's say. So I'm just going to hit add. And I want to input, no, I want to embed. And let's say I want to embed a site. All I have to do on this now is, I think I have an example of this somewhere on our site, but let me do this on here real quick. Let me show you this because I think this could be important on here. 1 second here. Okay. Okay, so on here, I'm going to connect. When we had our summer social, we had a survey. So that's this form here. What I want to do then is I want to create get the link. I go back to that embed. That didn't work. Hang on 1 second. Find where that form went. So there's actually 2 different ways to do it. Let me show you the first way. You have that link. I'm going to copy that link. I go back to here. The website address is here. Hit apply. If I make this bigger, it should It might take a second. Embed. Maybe save this and publish and see if this works. But you're actually able to embed your form. I might not be able to do it right now, but you're able to actually have it where your form comes up on here. I can't do it right now, but there's examples on our site, I think, of that happening. I think it might be under membership. Let's go to membership application. Or actually, no, what we did is we can also create a link to go right to the Google form too. So there's just a bunch of different options that you can do. You can play with embedding. That where it gets a little bit more complicated. Or you can just say, I want this sign up to go to that form. So you can, that link that we had. Instead, we can say website address. And now we're going to say this is our form. And when you save it and upload it, that's going to go right to that Google form that we had here. So that's another way of doing it. Sorry for a long way to answer your question on there, but there's multiple different ways that you can use to have a form, either through Wix or connecting any existing services that you might have, like through Google Forms or another service. Any other questions? Well, reach out to me if you have any questions. My email, I'll just type it on here, eric.hyatt@iljcs.org. Let me spell my last name right. Definitely reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm more than willing to help out. Definitely I'll just leave you with the closing advice of no matter how basic your site is, it's probably something is better than nothing, but just make sure you keep it updated, even if it's something that just says, here's when we meet, and just, making sure the audience of if you're connecting to a member, if you're trying to connect to the community. So that way, you can use the site to really drive what your purpose is. So just keeping that in mind when you're creating your site. So thanks for tuning in, and just reach out to me if you have any questions. I'll turn it back to you, Stephanie.
Thanks, Eric. We really appreciate you with this training. I learned so much, and it seems pretty simple that chapters could use it and do a good job of marketing their site. So I really thank you. I'm going to stop recording.